Today I'll be going over a resolution for ethical behavior among U.S. governors, and I'll start with my affirmation and go into my negation. And I'll start for my affirmation in 3, 2, 1. Today, representatives, we have a proposal to end wrongdoing within our country. Simply, I'm proposing a resolution for ethical behavior among U.S. governors to be proposed and passed today. For the safety of our future generations, to ensure that U.S. governors are held to a higher standard. And if they don't meet those standards, then they should be condemned for going against their own citizens within their state borders or going against those who voted for them. And so examples of these are like Governor Abbott or Governor DeSantis about sending illegal immigrants to fellow Democratic governors without, their own population say, just sent them away without even caring about those individuals within their state borders. Furthermore, Governor DeSantis himself goes against children's rights, enacting a Senate Bill 1557 that basically takes the rights away from children to express their feelings and emotions to counselors, and which out them to their parents, in which their parents could be neglecting them or abusing them. And it basically destroys their own voice to the younger generations of the state of Florida, which Governor DeSantis governs. And so what I propose today is a resolution for these governors to be condoned, not only for these governors, but for the future, and to end the past wrongdoings. And so by, again, affirming today's resolution, we are just simply condemning the governors who discriminate against those residing within their own state borders, and de-enfranchise those also in their territories. It's simply that. There's no other further legal action other than that. We are simply just making a higher standard for these U.S. governors to live by. And so by enacting this today, we're able to make other U.S. governors be more enfranchised, not de-enfranchised, but to be enfranchised with their own population and represent them better without going against them. That's simply what we're proposing today. We're not trying to make U.S. governors get a harder job, a harder standard to get to fulfill their job. We're just simply saying that here's the bar, and governors should not go below it. They should meet it and exceed it to represent their population, in which they were going to do in the first place and should have been doing in the first place. And that is why I affirmed today's resolution to make these U.S. governors be accountable. Without accountability, how can we ever get anything right in this country? And so I hope you, fellow U.S. representatives, agree with me that we should set the standard today with accountability here in the United States. Thank you. Then I'll start my negation speech in 3, 2, 1. Today, representatives, we have a resolution for ethical behavior among U.S. governors. But what this bill doesn't really tell you is that it's federal overreach. It goes over state boundaries and conceals these U.S. governors under the standard underneath the federal government. I know that U.S. governors are not always good and bad, but U.S. governors already represent their population. And if they break their what they wanted to do in the first place, like what they ran on, then they can be kicked out by the population by a popularity vote. And so by proposing this, we're simply saying that the federal government should overshoot this and basically be the rule maker. And so I negate today's resolution on that very factor, that it's federal overreach. Not only that, but I also consider that U.S. governors should not be held to even more standards, because it's already given to them by the very position that they are held and the oath of office that they give to the state in which they reside on. Furthermore, media has allowed accountability throughout this new technological advance to basically have the media make the governors be held to a higher standard. Although U.S. governors can do bad, right? But the media also has a portraying effect where basically if something does bad happen with a governor, the media picks it up and puts it on mainstream media for individuals within the state to see what their governor is doing, and which could and lead in some cases make the population vote them out. or vote for a new representative. And all this in effect basically shows the US governors, what they represent should usually represent what they vote for. And so again, I think that federal overreach is really in this bill or in this resolution. And so I agree with the fact that US governors are already in there by their vote. And if they do something bad, they should be voted out. Or when re-election comes along, a new governor who's not from that same party that governor represented by doing these wrongdoings, a new governor from a different party can represent the core values rightly and justly instead of the wrong ones. And so I'm simply saying that I'm not saying that there aren't bad governors and they're all good. I'm simply saying that by voting and using our power as citizens, we can combat bad ethical behavior within the United States instead of having federal overreach take that power from the people and basically reign over US governors. And I think to that effect is that us US citizens represent America. And if we don't do our diligence of representing it and voting by using our rights and our core values in which our country was established on, then we cannot combat ethical behavior in the first place. And so I resolve that I negate today's resolution for ethical behavior among US governors. Thank you.